Hi, this is the second of the two Tarrasch traps in the Spanish Ruy Lopez. This one is in the open variation, and incredibly Siegbert Tarrasch was able to catch out two illustrious world-class, unsuspecting opponents in the shape of Johannes Zukertort in 1887 and Tarrasch-Gunsberg 3 years later in 1890. And the pedigree of these two players cannot be understated, since Gunsberg only just lost out to Wilhelm Steinitz in the World Chess Championships in New York in 1891, and Zukertort also lost the World Chess Championships to the same player Steinitz in 1886. So let's have a look at how Tarrasch lent his name to this trap. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, the Spanish, and a6, bishop a4, and knight f6. After white castles, black can play the closed variation with bishop e7, but more dynamic is the open variation with knight takes e4. Instead of the obvious looking rook e1, d4 is preferred at top level chess, and after b5, bishop b3, d5, d takes e5, and bishop e6, we've reached a position which appears thousands of times on all databases. After c3, giving a flight square for the bishop on b3 to c2, and that pawn on c3 also bolstering up the center on d4, bishop e7, rook e1 was played by Tarrasch. Also perfectly playable here is knight b d2 and also bishop e3. But back to the text move. After rook e1, black castles, and I believe the most challenging move that white can play here is knight d4. Black is still doing fine, and he has many good responses available. One of them is bishop h4, which is a very good counter shot for black, because if white plays knight takes c6, black is doing much better than white here after bishop takes f2, and if king f1, queen h4 would probably give black some good practical winning chances. If instead we go to the position after knight d4, black can also try knight takes on e5, because f3 isn't too much of a problem, since after bishop d6 and f takes e4, bishop g4, black is probably close to equality. However, our two unsuspecting opponents, Gunsberg and Zukertort, after knight d4, they played a very natural move, queen d7. But can you see here how white wins by force? Well, the best move here for white is knight takes on e6, since now it becomes clear that any capture of the knight on e6 will result in a loss of material for black after rook takes d4. If f takes e6, rook takes e4, and that pawn on d5 is pinned. If pawn takes e4, black drops the queen. The same outcome occurs after queen takes e6, because rook takes e4 means that the pawn on d5 can't capture the rook. Now it's pinned by the bishop on b3, and black would drop the queen again. So this has been the Tarrasch trap in the Spanish Open. Hope you found it useful. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.